Tonight, Trump's tax plan. Our first look at what's in it, what it could mean for millions of families, saving them money, including the Trumps. And how does the president plan to pay for it all? North Korea secrets, heavy security for an unusual briefing. All U.S. senators at the White House. What were they told? Hot housing markets, surging prices, in some places higher than before the recession. What buyers and sellers should know. Drugged driving for the first time. It's now blamed for more traffic fatalities than alcohol. And dancing dreams. Amazing kids getting their chance to shine. Nightly News begins right now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening. With great buildup, the White House announced a massive tax cut plan today, one it's calling the largest tax cut in history, and one that could offer significant relief for a lot of Americans, not only families and individuals, but businesses too. The proposed cut of the corporate tax rate, the focus of a lot of attention tonight, because among the prime beneficiaries, businesses like President Trump's. But as they say, the devil is in the details, which appear to be fairly sparse at this point. NBC News national correspondent Peter Alexander tells us more.
Tonight from the president and his team on taxes, an ambitious opening bid.
We have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to do something really big.
The White House outlining a sweeping across-the-board tax overhaul.
Under the Trump plan, we will have a massive tax cut for businesses and massive tax reform.
The headliner reducing the number of individual income tax brackets from 7 to 3, 10%, 25%, and 35%. The administration doubling the standard deduction for individuals and married couples that would leave more money in people's pockets and make filing taxes easier.
We are going to eliminate on the personal side all tax deductions other than mortgage interest and charitable deductions.
A boon for businesses too, both large and small. Slashing the corporate tax rate to 15%, a cut that would also extend to personal real estate empires, like Mr. Trump's. A special one-time tax to lure companies to reinvest money kept overseas back here at home, and the elimination of tax breaks for special interests. The goal, stimulating the economy. The specifics, still a mystery.
We will be back to you with very firm details.
We're working on lots of details.
We will let you know these specific details.
A year ago, candidate Trump told NBC News he believes in raising taxes on the wealthy.
I do, including myself. I do.
Will the president end up paying more or less taxes as a result of this plan?
Well, let me just comment. I can't comment on the president's tax situation since I don't have access to that.
In 2005, the alternative minimum tax that the president now wants to kill cost him $31 million. Just one example how he could benefit.
It's a great plan.
President Trump tonight deflecting questions about warnings his plan would blow a hole in the deficit.
If you just say, I can cut taxes without consequence, that's voodoo economics. This is a proposal that's incomplete at best.
So how much would the president's tax plan cost? One leading nonpartisan fiscal watchdog group estimates the price tag could approach nearly $6 trillion over the next decade. And experts say there is no way this tax reform would be able to pay for itself or even come close. Lester?
Peter Alexander at the White House, thank you. And our business correspondent, Ali Velshi, joins us now. Ali, break this down. If these tax proposals become reality, what does it mean for the average taxpayer?
All right, Lester, it means you'll have more money in your bank account. The president wants Americans to spend their tax savings by going shopping. That increases demand, it creates jobs, and it stimulates economic growth. But since the recession, Lester, Americans have used any tax savings to pay down debt instead of spending it on goods and services. So under this plan, working families will save on taxes. But the question is, will they spend the extra cash in a way that boosts the economy, or will they choose to pay down debt? One of those things helps the economy. The other one just helps the family, Lester.
Ali Velshi tonight. Thank you. Tonight, there are signs of life for the Republican plan to repeal and replace Obamacare. Thought dead just weeks ago. Conservative holdouts now saying they're on board after a controversial addition that could affect people with pre-existing conditions. NBC's Casey Hunt has details.
House will be in order.
The Republican health care bill making a sudden recovery today. Members of the conservative House Freedom Caucus, who blocked President Trump's first attempt, announcing they've come to an agreement to support the American Health Care Act. The move potentially giving House Speaker Paul Ryan a lifeline, enough votes to repeal and replace Obamacare.
I don't know where the final vote tally is, but we should be down hopefully in single digits of getting the votes to pass it.
Is this Republicans' best chance to repeal Obamacare?
I think it may be our only chance.
Conservatives are rallying around an amendment that would allow states to opt out of a key tenet of Obamacare, covering essential health benefits like emergency room visits and maternity care, and also letting insurers charge people with pre-existing conditions much more for their insurance. The goal is lowering premiums.
Whatever we can do to get those premiums down, but also make sure that the guarantee for people with pre-existing conditions is met.
And that's the risk. Winning over conservatives could cost moderate Republican votes. They're concerned about spiking costs for people with pre-existing conditions. And you've gone from yes to maybe.
Yes to undecided.
So the question, when will the House vote to repeal Obamacare?
We'll vote on it when we get the votes.
But before President Trump can claim victory, there's a tough road ahead in the Senate.
Getting a health care bill through the House is a big political win for the president at the end of his first 100 days, but he's got a lot of work to do to get something through the Senate, then get a bill to his desk. That would be a real political victory.
House leaders are now trying to figure out just how many moderates can't accept this compromise. They want to seize the momentum, but there's that must-pass spending bill they have to deal with this week to keep the government open past Friday. Lester?
Casey Hunt on Capitol Hill, thanks. Now to the threat from North Korea and something unusual that happened today at the White House, a special briefing for all United States senators behind closed doors under heavy security. We get details from NBC News White House correspondent Kristen Welker.
The entire U.S. Senate heading to the White House in buses for an urgent and unprecedented briefing on the North Korea threat.
It was a sobering briefing.
Inside the room, the Defense Secretary, Secretary of State, Director of National Intelligence, and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs saying they told senators North Korea's pursuit of nuclear weapons is an urgent national security threat, that they are pursuing diplomatic measures, but are prepared to defend ourselves and our allies. One senior administration official saying that includes military preparations.
North Korea is the most dangerous spot on the planet right now.
It comes as the top commander in the Pacific unveils a new warning tonight that part of the U.S. is already within striking distance of North Korea's arsenal.
Kim Jong-un is clearly in a position to threaten Hawaii today, in my opinion.
The fear that North Korea may develop nuclear missiles that can reach the West Coast. And tonight, dueling shows of force. New photos capture Kim Jong-un smiling and watching live fire exercises. While on the other side of the DMZ, U.S. fighter jets and tanks held joint drills with South Korea, where key parts of a U.S. missile defense system will be operational within days.
All options are on the table. We want to bring Kim Jong-un to his senses, not to his knees.
Since President Trump's Mar-a-Lago visit with the Chinese president, the U.S. has steadily ramped up its pressure on China to help resolve the crisis. But North Korea is showing no signs of backing down.
The rhetoric we're hearing today is roughly what we've heard in the past. What's different is that it is matched by an increasing capability. That is deeply disturbing.
Tonight, the Trump administration is still focusing on diplomacy over military action. One option under consideration, new sanctions against banks that do business with North Korea. Lester.
Kristen Welker also at the White House tonight. Thank you. A free speech firestorm has erupted at one of the country's most historically progressive universities. At the center of it, conservative pundit Ann Coulter, who was scheduled to speak tomorrow at UC Berkeley. But with her appearance canceled amid fears of violent protests, some unlikely people are voicing their support for Coulter tonight. NBC's Katie Beck explains.
It's scenes like this, violence, chaos, and bloodshed at a pro-Trump rally just 10 days ago that UC Berkeley says made them cancel a speech this week by conservative firebrand Ann Coulter. The university forced to sacrifice its reputation as the cradle of the free speech movement for safety, according to officials. Coulter insisted she would go regardless until she lost the support of the conservative groups who invited her today. It's sickening, she said on Twitter, when a radical, thuggish institution like Berkeley can so easily snuff out the cherished American right to free speech. Groups from the far left and right have clashed in the city several times in recent months. In February, Berkeley canceled the speech of alt-right provocateur Milo Yiannopoulos when violent protests broke out. In a statement defending the cancellations, Berkeley's chancellor said, "This is a university, not a battlefield." For civil rights advocates, the scenario raises real concern.
It's very important that the government not buckle down and not allow people to silence speakers of any point of view.
The cancellation has also made some who normally criticize Coulter come to her defense, including Senator Bernie Sanders, who called the move intellectual weakness. Growing questions tonight for Berkeley about betraying its First Amendment roots. Katie Beck, NBC News, Los Angeles.
There is news tonight on the economy. The U.S. housing market heating up more than it has in a decade before the Great Recession devastated so many families. Realtors say there hasn't been a better time to be a seller in recent memory. So where does that leave buyers? Here's NBC's Gabe Gutierrez.
What do you want to go on? For Christopher Hendricks and his wife Nalima, this is getting ridiculous.
It's quite overwhelming.
They're hoping to buy their first home in Southern California, but are facing fierce competition. This open house drew more than 100 potential buyers. 3 years ago, it sold for $600,000. Now it could go for more than $800,000.
I think it's just what we're used to growing up, and the reality of what things cost here is completely different.
In Dallas, home prices have skyrocketed 35% above their high before the recession. Denver, 36%. Seattle and Portland also seeing huge spikes since last year.
So tell me about this house.
Realtors say entry-level homes are in highest demand.
It's been crazy. Every house goes for over list price. There's usually 10 offers. I tell my buyers we have to go in at least at list price, if not more aggressive.
Nationwide, sales of new single-family houses have jumped 15% over the past year, and about half of homes sold in March were on the market for less than a month. Why? Not enough homes for sale and not enough new construction. The advice for buyers? Be ready with a sizable down payment. 10% will no longer cut it. And don't wait even 24 hours to put in that first offer.
This spring buying season is a seller's market. In fact, for home buyers, it's shaping up to be the worst spring buying season in decades.
Tonight, the Hendricks family is rethinking their dream home.
It seems like there's always going to be at least one large compromise on any house that we choose.
And it's tough to put a price on that. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Now to the important news that impacts everyone who uses the internet. The Trump administration today announcing plans to roll back Obama-era net neutrality rules on equal access. The move would allow internet service providers to pick and choose who gets fast service and who doesn't. NBC's Tom Costello explains how it affects you.
The best way to understand net neutrality is to think of the internet as a sort of congested superhighway, with most of the fast lanes taken up by big fat trucks carrying content like Amazon, Netflix, and Hulu. In 2015, the Obama administration ruled those big companies cannot pay to dominate the fast lanes. Everyone from e-commerce giants to mom-and-pop websites must be treated equally.
Without these regulations, one website could make sure that that their content is reaching consumers faster than others, which again ultimately would result in less choice for the consumer.
But the White House and the nation's internet service providers, or ISPs, like NBC parent company Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, Cox, and others, argued the rule stifles competition and creativity. Now the FCC is planning to roll back the rule.
One of the things we don't want to put on the table is the FCC micromanaging the business practices of private companies.
Democrats object. And the Internet Association, which represents many of the giants, says scrapping net neutrality will only hurt consumers by allowing ISPs to throttle speed, saying in a statement, robust net neutrality rules benefit all players in the ecosystem by attracting more people to the web and increasing demand for Internet connections. Tonight, the nation's internet service providers say they will not interfere with, block, or throttle internet traffic. But many consumer advocates worry the biggest players could soon pay to speed through the fast lane, while many smaller players are stuck in the slow lane. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
Still ahead tonight, an eye-opening alert about a growing danger on the road that's now deadlier than drunk driving. Why police are struggling to keep up with the crisis. Also, up, and away, the high-flying play-at-home play that you simply have to see to believe. Stay with us.
And the wolf huffed and puffed.
Like you do sometimes, Grandpa?
Well, when you have COPD, it can be hard to breathe. It can be hard to get air out, which can make it hard to get air in. So I talked to my doctor, and she said,
Symbicort could help you breathe better, starting within 5 minutes. Symbicort doesn't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden symptoms. Symbicort helps provide significant improvement of your lung function.